Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Azavin Firdaus, once again welcoming you all to the third episode of the live interview series of the Superbrands of Bangladesh. Superbrands, the UK-based independent authority on branding, promotes the discipline of branding and pays tribute to exceptional brands all over the world. Superbrands has been successfully publishing a prestigious series of books which identifies and pays tribute to the strongest brand in the world. Although the concept began in the UK in 1994, it has now spread across the world in 88 countries. Superbrands Bangladesh this year has identified and honored the most powerful brands of Bangladesh for the period of the next 2 years. The objective of Superbrands Bangladesh is to select brands that have been successful in Bangladesh with their strong market presence and great reputation. Brands that are considered to have excelled in their particular fields and stand out from the average. Superbrands Bangladesh has honored 40 such brands for the year 2020 and 2021. We will be having a discussion with these super brands in every week. The objective of the show is to be more affiliated with these brands so that we can know and learn what made them the super brands of Bangladesh. Without further ado, let us introduce our today's very honorable guest. We have with us Sabbir Hassan Nasir, Executive Director, ACI Logistic Limited, Shopno. A very welcome, Bhaiya.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Next, our guest is MM Jashimuddin, COO, Brand and Marketing, Sector A, Boshundhara Group. A very
Hello.
welcome, Bhaiya.
Yeah,
It's great to
welcome.
have
Thank
both
you.
these great minds in the show. Our viewers will be honored and will listening the great brand journey of these two great brands. So thank you all of you joining today's session. So moving on to my first series of conversation towards Sabir Bhai regarding the brand itself, Shopno. Since its inception, the concept itself was very new when it started, then gradually it persistently it creating innovating things and change the overall retail market landscape. So today our viewers are eager to listen to that inception and history of Shopno from you, Bhaiya.
Well, in Bangladesh, supermarket actually started in early 2000, and Shopno started its journey probably in 2008. Uh, but in initial time, I would say we had some learning curve, and in learning curve, you have to have some kind of adjustment. So the idea was to connect the seed with the shelf because it's a part of ACI conglomerate, and ACI got its huge division in agribusiness. So we wanted to actually connect the agricultural inputs to the agricultural output and improve the good market efficiency. So with time, we actually try to learn the consumers at large, like in the middle section of the pie, in the of the pyramid. We try to uh, you know make them acquainted with this modern trade or supermarket culture, and I think we successfully could have done something. That's why we gained a significant amount of market share, and we improved the modern trades pie size with time. uh, Till 2016, we tried to just improve our market share and top line. But then from 2016 to 2020, we focused on more on the brand side, and we became the top retail brand for last 5 consecutive years. And also, we are honored and we are proud to tell that we are one of the top 10 brands across all categories for last 2 years. Last year, we also got the top Asia's Market Year Award um, by AMF, Asia Marketing Federation. And all this happened because we actually thought about this country, the uncaptured dreams, and how we can connect the dots, and how we can be more human and more bold and more courageous in terms of innovation, in terms of serving the hearts and minds. And I mean, that's how it worked well. um, I think that's very philosophical and abstract, but yeah, we can definitely go into more specific technical discussion.
Definitely, Bhaiya. But as you have mentioned, from the category itself, it was an introduction, the whole thing, Shopno, the conceptualize wise. Then gradually it builds on the one after one innovation. It was a great journey, and we'll listen to that more. Going to the next guest of ours, Joshim Bhai. So, but in that sector also, LPG gas, Vosundhara back in, it started its journey, and it was a great introduction to the category itself. And Boshundhar Group, as a local conglomerate, has seen that vision that this need is coming. And before that, it has prepared itself and launched the brand, and now it is a super brand itself. So we would like to hear that story from you, Bhaiya, the history and the inception of this LPG gas in our country, how it started.
Thank you. Say 20 years back, Bosundhara started its journey with LP gas, and you see in the Bangladesh market, it is a fuel. The product is a fuel, so it was very difficult to imagine how the market will grow each year. Uh, that 20 years back, it was a vision for the company that the company will contribute in the sector. Uh, After that, in 2000, 2000, not 2000, 1999, in December 1999, we started our journey very humbly along with the government gas companies, uh, Petro Bangla. Then the journey was from the beginning. It was a work for generating basic demand in the market because you see we had no practice using LP gases. After years, in last 5 years, we found the industry is booming like anything. Uh, there is a 15%, over 15% market growth annually. So after this situation, many big conglomerates invested in the industry, uh, like other big companies. From the inception, the private entrepreneur, Vasuda considered the things very intelligently, and investment was directed towards logistic and building variety in handling logistics. You see, LP gas industry is almost a business of logistic handling. But nowadays, we need to build trust among the consumers and the customers. That's why we have made our focus shifted from building generic demand to build brands. So last 5 years, in huge competition, Vasundhara LP Gas tried to do many innovative, consumer-friendly uh, activities so that people can remember us like other products. You see, Vasundhara is a very big conglomerate. We have successful brands. That's why Vasundhara LP Gas is growing similarly, keeping its number one position for a couple of years. A couple of years means over 20 years. It is a big journey, and at a part of it, I would like to mention in the next session. I will mention some technical issues. You see, the industry is so big and so competitive. There are over 40 players nowadays, but 6 7 years back we had only 4 5 players in the market. We have control over rates and we have some benefit, but come in recent days the things are so hard. It is a question of survival. Uh, but you see, from managing the brands for to render service for our customers, we had no scarcity. We are like anything. We are doing every steps to keep the products in the doorsteps of our customers. That's why we are investing in logistics, in manufacturing, and other satellite plants, in transporting. Uh, these all are under process, and almost there are some processes are over 100%, some are 90%. But things are well managed. We're managing the things very intelligently, and people are happy with our brand, and that's why people are recognizing us, our work. They're appraising our work. That's it from primarily from me. Thank you.
Now, it was great to know that you are building the ecosystem to support as because the demand is increasing in the coming times. You have foreseen that and preparing the brand accordingly.
Yes.
So we'll learn more about it in the next sessions or the insights from you. Going back to Sabir Bhai, it was an interesting model altogether when Shopno started because there is this backward linkage, the forward linkage, backward linkage from the agro products, and that was very traditional market, the farmer markets that was handled by middlemen and other stuffs. So then Shopno initiated this in the first in the country and doing it was not easy, of course. So here our viewers would like to know the how the targeted overall targeted market approach was in case for both the backward linkage and then to the forward linkage, Bhaiya.
Um, well, I want to phase it into three. First is initially the challenge was to create acceptability of Shopno as a brand and supermarket as a concept among this all consumers because they were used to go with the wet market and all these practices. So first we had to create the relevance, so you can say probably the front side of the business model. We had to create relevance in the business model, like pricing. We call it destination strategy, or you create some categories as destination categories so that people know why they should come to that shop. So setting that those strategies right, right promotion mix and innovative promotion mix so that the wet market shoppers they consider Shopno as an option. So it's like habit formation. So the initial challenge, and still it's a challenge, is and was to change the habit. Now, some people say that if somebody does one thing probably 4 times, it becomes a habit. Some say 21 times, some say probably 32 times. I don't know what the number is and which number is right, but we know that we have to make the trial happen and we have to make the retention happen. And to do that, you have to create reasons, or you can call value propositions. Now, when there is a huge psychological barrier that my father and my grandfather and I believe that wet market is good, it's cheap, it's fresh, it's really hard to convince any person why they should come to modern trade. Why 2 to 4 degrees Celsius temperature is good for fish and meat and for your health. Similarly, why you should know what's going inside the soil. It's really hard to convince consumers about that because is a habit which actually was formed for years and ages and decades probably. So we had to work on that, and we're still working on that side. And so initially it was market share acquisition so that you have a sizable market share so that you can buy in bulk. So local convenience and hyper-local convenience was also a strategy on top of the value and food safety. And we tried to create a service model where actually our employees, which is actually our major strength, we try to make them a little bit down to earth, humble, so that the consumers think that they're approachable. So this is how we try to differentiate ourselves, and we gain the market share. We had that kind of size. Then we offered hyper local convenience and went to different catchments and became a neighborhood shop. So once you have that scale in hand, then you can buy in bulk from the farms, from the farmers. Otherwise, your transportation cost becomes crazy. So then we started buying vegetables, fishes, fruits, all these from different locations. Right now, we got 77 collection points across the country, and 500 farmers actually are working with us. And this scale is actually helping us to buy from directly from them. So we are not 100% sourced from the field. We are still at the 50 to 60% level. But we are the first retailer from Southeast Asia who became member of Global Gap, and we are using those principles in the field so that we can train the farmers on the best agricultural practices to make the crop safe for consumers, and also farming more efficient and more safe for them themselves, and how to make the soil sustainable, how to make environment sustainable. So yeah, so it's an everyday tale, a lot of struggles and adoption curve story. So story about how consumers are adapting, how farmers are adapting to this new value chain of goodness, and we are very much excited to build this value chain for this country. Thank you.
Yes, it is indeed a great work in progress ecosystem addition. You're every day you're actually doing the brand itself, because the connecting the farmers to the end users, the lot of channels are there are connecting, and it's a w work in progress thing, because it will not end. Every day it will improve, I guess, and the value chain system will be more enhanced. Thank you, Sabri Bhai. Coming to Joshim Bhai regarding the market approach or the targeted market approach, when you started, it was pretty much a very new concept. But
Mhm.
as you have mentioned in your previous insight, that now it's a lot of competitions are there and demand is very high. So you're trying to build up ecosystem to differentiate your product. So
Mhm.
but once it started in 1999 and now in 2021, how the targeted market approach has been evolved, and how you're coping up the brand itself is doing. So would you please share that with us today? Bhaiya?
Thank you. Uh, One thing I'd share, every user of LP gas, they're feeling it's not a safe thing. A cylinder is not a safe thing to their household. It is a great challenge for the producers, those who are operating refills. Everyone feels, every consumer feels it is not a safe thing in my household. That was a great challenge for us, for a forwarded company and the number one company. We solved it. We had over 500 safety campaigns around the country, and we covered almost over 12,000 uh, mainly female users in 2017, 2018. We did it because you see, we have responsibility to aware people how to use LP gas, how to remain safe in households. That's all our responsibility. From the point of responsibility, we did the things. And after the campaign, we tried to make our consumers very friendly to the brand. We launched many more campaigns. Say on campaign is, if I can remember, in 2017, the to last year is mm, uh, is about maintaining the household, the especially the female consumers very friendly to the uses of LP gas. Uh, I can't remember the campaign, the name of the campaign, but the campaign is elaborately, if I say, uh, is more making the household female more familiar and the technical know-how, how to use it, how to handle it, how to keep it in kitchen. That was the main theme of the campaign, and that was the spirit we made in the country's market. And being the pioneer in the gas industry, another thing is very important. I mentioned earlier, it's a logistic business, and you see, we have invested a lot in transportation. Say we have now over 400 trucks, uh, uh, over 50 bulk carriers. This year, from last year and this year, we have invested in two BLGC, a very large gas carrier, each 44,000 metric tons. Nobody have in the country, and two BLGC is carrying 88,000 metric ton in vessels. So our storage capacity in vessels and in land is now more than 1 million ton. On one is 1 million ton in vessel in and in land. So there is a huge capacity we have, and to render service to the doorsteps, we have a very intelligent supply chain, and you see, it is a almost 25% market share for Bosundhara LP gas. We have to maintain the things very innovatively. And for building the brands, especially what you mentioned, that after a long period of time, we have to stay and make differentiation among the brands. Differentiation in the sense of uses, in the sense of effectiveness. So, what about the quality of the LP gas brands? You see, there are two parameters people consider: one from the cylinders and one from the gas quality of the gases. Quality is it is a mix of butane and propane, and if the proportion is not uh, maintained scientifically, work very properly. And the cylinder, it must be very safe. The equipment of the cylinders must be very safe and remain safe for long years. That are the considerations. And from the both end, we maintained high quality from the beginning, and still we are producing each and every cylinders in Bangladesh with high standard. And for your information, for the market also, there are huge million imported cylinders. I don't want to say all are less quality, but some of them are not proper qualified and they are not tested. That is the main bottleneck of the industry. And I would say we have biggest number of cylinders. All are made and checked in Bangladesh, and we are highest manufacturer in cylinders also. We make 150,000 cylinders in a month. So you see, from making cylinders, managing the transportation, the storage capacity, both in vessel and in land. In land 10,000 and in vessel 88,000, and the small carriers carrying every day carrying product from the mother vessel to Mongla factory and the Dhaka factory. This is a huge activity. This operation we manage from the both end, center from Dhaka, but getting people's mind and remain qualified always, it is a priority. It is the same management system Bosundhara adapted for every product line and every industry. We are also maintaining the same standard for Bosundhara LP gas. That's why people are uh, growingly liking us, and we are getting market share. We are sustainable yet very competitive brand in the market, and also we are awarded internationally, and we are also recognized by Brand Forum, uh, Superbrands. Uh, that's it from me.
Thank you, Pam. Most probably you are actually referring to one of the campaign regarding women gas safety that is called Nirapod Nibash, I think.
It is a Nirapad Divas, and another campaign I can mention the, yes, I can mention, yes.
Mhm. So we
I'll tell you
can.
later.
Yes, yes, we'll talk about more about campaigns in the next sessions of yours. So coming back to Sabir Bhai, we talked about, we learned about the targeted market approach, and also and the way Shopno is evolving itself every day, every moment, and during this pandemic situation, it's tremendous. Of course, you have been speaking to this, how you have been evolved and how you're coping up, and this logistics and other things connecting, and also you have formed a big e-commerce facility, and we have seen that day in day out, night in night out, Shopno is delivering services towards their customers. So regarding the, of course, the question that will come, that the pandemic, it's almost been almost 1.5 years, and it will continue, and this is how we are going to live in next few decades or next 2 3 years of time. So in Shopno brands aspects, we have seen a lot of changes have been made, and how in the whole process have taken up a army to actually set it up. So how, in short, how did it happen? It's of course the team itself, and in coming times, how, what are the things in pipelines? Would you please share that to us, with our viewers today, Bhaiya?
Thank you. So, see, I mean, we try to understand the emotion behind um, this whole pandemic and WHO's prescription, where it was saying that, we have to be isolated from each other. We got to be separated from each other, and everywhere we saw fear among the eyes. People leaving each other. It's like. Leaving their nearest and dearest alone. That those were the initial days. So those were the tales of selfishness. Those were the tales of fear, or you can say the reptilian brains. Then we also found that our employees, our frontliners, and the secret weapons, they're part of the society as well, and they thought why they would choose a job like that where there is much more exposure of risk in their life. So we created a new mission statement, and we thought that when you're facing fear as a whole, globally and also in this country, um, what a brand can do. A brand can be courageous, a brand can be bold, and brand can actually stand besides the citizens, besides the farmers, besides those who are losing jobs, those who are marginalized. So we first try to stand beside our employees. We gave them mission statement that is like 71, where people went for war and they knew that a secret enemy can, kill them. Here also, a secret enemy can kill you, but you have to be besides your people, your country, because you have to run this food chain. So I think they believed in that, and salute to not just them, salute to all the frontliners, the doctors, nurses, health workers, police, army, and also our retail workers, um, who actually stood besides our people. Um, so that's a big part, that we're gonna make something really big, which is needed for this country. So that's one. Then we try to make them secure. And then third is our policy statements, where we say the customer is not always right. We are not always right. And through our difference, we create harmony. By that I mean that, when you read Kotler, it says that customer is always right, or customer, you got to be customer centric. We are customer centric. We are very, very customer centric. But during a time when you have to tell people to stand at a 3 feet distance. Sometimes some people don't like to hear that, but you have to probably enforce. So we put the markers on the floors. We enforce our consumers to wash their hands or sanitize their hands and wear the mask and follow the queue. So these were something new normal in our culture, new normal in our everyday practice, the new normal in the way we used to interact with our customers. The customer relation strategy changed, and that worked out because most of the consumers actually felt that this is really needed because they're courageous, they're bold, and they're telling us what to do. And I think this is for good, that this is really something making sense. So I salute to all our consumers for helping us, for liking us, for having respect in us. But it was not just that. Then we felt that they wanted to be connected, but they wanted to avoid the touch, and it's like touchless touch. So we created home delivery through telesales, our e-commerce. We collaborated with other partners, and we just tried to dissolve the boundaries. We just tried to understand that this is a new ecosystem designing where you cannot work alone, you cannot win the war alone with your army. So we joined armies with other e-commerce platforms, other delivery partners, and together we created an ecosystem together with the public, together with government, and I think we could do quite a good job during this pandemic. So that's all about how you face this pandemic, and the mantra is not in isolation you win. The mantra is united you fight and you win. So that actually drove us.
Yeah, you rightly put in the words, united we fight and we actually conquer. So far, we have done good. And going forward, also, we have to be like that too, because the coming 45 days are very crucial as this new variant of virus is coming all across. So coming to the Joshim Bhai, our marketing communication sector, as you're mentioning in your last segment, I have been reading a lot of marketing communication has been done. Beautiful campaigns targeted to moms, the beautiful campaigns targeted to households to use how effectively, efficiently the LPG gas can be used other than the natural gas. And we have a tendency of not to use the gas properly. So these are a lot of awareness based, product based, and service based. So at this point of time, our viewers want to listen from the marketing campaigns, CSR, and the product wise from you, Bhaiya.
Hmm. Thank you. What I was telling, all guesses are same is not right. Uh, in the market, there are many brands. To differentiate among the brands was very challenging for us, and for that things we managed many campaigns for any campaign for 2 years, 3 years. You see, I can mention some campaigns is say for female. AR Banglaয় AR এমন কি, the title of the campaign was AR এমন কি, and another campaign is ছুটি ছাড়া calendar, ছুটি ছাড়া calendar. This campaign, in these campaigns, we try to tell to our uh, female consumers that they are important. They are getting empowered day by day. They have to realize it. And in our campaigns, we just mentioned that female are equally working with neck, uh, neck to neck, hand to hand. So they need to be empowered. They need to be realize their rights. That's why, from the point of view, see, our customers are mostly in household, they are female. So we work huge campaign for female. You see, in household, after selling a cylinder and refilling a cylinder, uh, it has become very difficult for us to monitor how they handle it, how they use the gases, how they use the regulators, how they put the knobs. These are very important. That's why we drove many campaigns among them so that they remain aware. You see, in gas company, as a gas company, we do this. But in other products, we have different type of standpoints. But in gas company, as a gas company, we have the responsibility. Still, we feel. You see, in this year, from August on, we had a pilot last year, but after the pandemic was very, very crucial, then we stopped it. But this year, we are going to launch the campaign once again. It is a service camp. The title of the campaign is Service Camp. Service camp is very simple. A technical person, an engineer, will knock your doors and they will see your gas connections, your cylinder health, your kitchen health, because you see we have plenty of cylinders injected in households and replacing natural gases and replacing wooden fuels and other things. We have huge number of you see it is a over 15% penetration in the market each year. That's why we have a bigger responsibility since we are the oldest company in the market. We have huge customers. This customer, we have to provide them service. Service in the sense how they handle the cylinders, how they use the uh, main operating system of the cylinders and the pipelines, the stoves, the burners. uh, so this campaign is a service campaign. Is going to kick off from the 1st of August. We are registering now. We will cover more than 1 lakh, 100,000 households to see their kitchen health so that people remain very safe with LP gases. We see in every week we read some news, in some bad news, there is a there is a gas incident in commercial, in household, in both aspects. But many one do not know that the gas cylinders do not burst itself. There is no possibility because it is so thick, it's so strong. The accident starts from the pipelines, from the very cheap clips, the nozzles. These are the point of having accidents. So we try to make our the users, and nowadays we are trying to uh, knock the doors of the users and make them aware. This campaign we have named Service Campaign, Service Camp, and as a responsible manufacturer of LP gas, we always remain responsible to our consumers. That's why over years, say last 9 years, I am with the gas company. I always try to remain responsible to the consumers and not to tell lies to my consumers. Our brand ethos point was very strong. We do not miss any queries from them. Every day we have 4 officials always engaged to learn and know their complaints and their service matters. We attend them. In 24/7 we attend them. I think these are our responsibility. Out of it, it is our advertisement. It is our strength to remain the number one, remain in number one. And other thing is to create a soft uh, reminder to our all customers that when using gases, especially LP gases, natural gas is similarly harmful if you don't handle it properly. Cylinder gas is safe, is more safe because you see the pressure a cylinder holds is less than a pressure a natural gas stove holds. That's why I would request all the users remain very careful and remain very aware of using it. And as a big company and a responsible company in the market, Bosundhara will remain trying the things to make people aware and uh, from their standpoint. So, what was our method to inform the consumers is we will remain like this. We will tell the things what will improve the environment, especially it is a green fuel. We have to mention that after the pandemic, we'll try to mention it more loudly because for generic demand, we have to work because we are the volume seller. We have capacity. That's why we'll try to knock the consumer once again to get the generic demand of LP gas. Now, one thing is finally I would mention very little that in this pandemic situation, people are very helpless getting a even getting a gas cylinder in their doorsteps, and they are calling in our call centers and hotlines. We have we have just launched a system few months back. Is One is require a gas cylinder. They may call to our hotline, and our local distribution system will provide the gases to their household. And in previous lockdown in 2020, we tried to do it, but many gas companies failed to provide services. That's why the entire campaign of gas companies went in vain. But in this year, we have individually launched the things, and even if you are a consumer, you can order a gas cylinder, gas refill from us directly. So these are all from now.
Yes, it's wonderful to know how LPG is actually emphasizing its service to continuously aware and give the proper service and know-hows of this LPG gas to the households. Thank you so much, Joshim Bhai.
Yeah.
Going to the Sabir Bhai regarding one of the SKUs of Shopno, that is Shopno Life, that more focus on the fashion brands. So tell us shortly the thought behind this. It's more of a fashion brand. What the thought came before launching it, and going forward, do you have plan to expand it in some way, or the plans regarding this SKUs with our viewers now?
Well, from the strategic point of view, it was like what actually we offer. We offer convenience under one umbrella, so it's more like assortment related convenience. Now, we wanted to offer that section of lifestyle, which is more like more goes with the convenience, like not like fashion which you want to have for a party, but rather something which gives you comfort and which is like for everyday use. So fashion is quite broad in terms of its definition, but we wanted to actually provide a certain section of that. So, though initially we had to glamorize it more because there was a big challenge of adoption again, and that why should I buy any kind of clothing from a store where where I buy beef and chicken? That actually is very very contradictory in our mind. I mean, we cannot really relate that with that. But interestingly, with the initial brand launch and the glamorization of that, it actually helped Shopno's brand image. At the same time, the sales grew to its expectation level. So right now, we also have got a small factory which actually supplies everyday regular fashion wear. I'm not sure if you're aware of a sub brand called Nadi. That really worked well. That's very comfy kind of lifestyle brand. But from the financial point of view, we found that in many stores we have extra spaces, um, other than our food and non-food categories, whatever we have, and we can make use of those space, and we can offer something extra to our consumers. But after pandemic, I would say consumers are more interested to buy fashion from online and if through Facebook, and thus we also did some use of Facebook and online commerce to promote lifestyle, not just our brands but also our suppliers' products. And I think overall, though lifestyle actually uh, is not really growing the way food is growing or essential is growing because of the new normal situation. But we could probably capture a little bit of the new normal opportunities, whatever we found. So that's all about Shopno Life. But we also
Mhm.
did more than 300 private label brands, and they're really doing pretty well. Really fond of our bread, and then the different items like cookies, and butter bun. Many people come to Shopno just to have those items. So yeah, our private label brands are also making some good sense. Overall, though, we carry 42,000 SKU in a mega store, and probably in the convenience store we carry 6 to 7,000 SKUs. And out of that, 300 private label brands are really uh, just the tip of the iceberg, because a lot can be done in that front, because we are finding different gaps in our positioning, because we look at the positioning of all the brands in the category, and we still see a lot of gaps and unmet demand from the consumers. So yeah, we are a house of brands. As I said, 42,000 SKU means a lot of brands. So we know what the brands are all about, and we are also in the generation process of meeting those unmet demand. Yeah.
Yeah, you rightly said. It's very interesting to have in-house products. Likewise, that you have mentioned the butter buns, the cookies are really good. I'm sure Shopno, after this good acceptance from the consumer, Shopno has planned to have more house-made, in-house products in coming times.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Bhaiya. We are almost end of our show. The last question to my guest, it is about super brands, how it add values to the brands, and how it carries through the brand, and what importance it carries to the brands. And in coming forward, do you think that title itself will add value to this esteemed brand? First question to Joshin Bhai.
Thank you. Every recognition is important, and you see, uh, base brand or super brand is not a just a logo. It's a value for the brand, and we always love to use the brand in our promotions, in our brand products, brand identity. Everywhere we use the logo. You see, when we remain ever all the year to get a recognition from any of the platforms, it is a value. It is a really it is earning from the consumers, because we are the middleman. Where our consumers are making the brands so popular. That's why we are so happy that getting a recognition from especially like a big uh, platform. uh, Superbrands uh, is our pride. And I'd also mention that in the whole the year we remain very much aware and keen to get the award and get recognized and awarded, evaluated. That's why it helps us. We always communicate Superbrand because it is our pride. In the coming days, it is a recognition for our consumers. In the coming days, we will also try to remain like this, service oriented and a brand for the people. That would be our standpoint. That's why if any platform, any recognizing platform can recognize us, evaluate us, will be helpful and will be very much appreciable for from us, from Bosundhara. Uh, it is it is like anything. It's a very happy news for us from for every year when we get three times one is best brand and two consecutive year in 2020 and 21 best super brand award. It helped us recognized and it helps us differentiated from the brands, appreciated. And thank you for Super Brand Awarding campaign organizations. Uh, the Brand Forum. Definitely, I would thank to all my consumers and all the stakeholders and the uh, logistic providers so that they made the brand and help us mention in the country that Bosundhara LP Gas is a little bit ahead company from the companies and the brands, is recognized by people, is made by them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joshim Bhai. Of course, our viewers get to know about the brand's journey and the newcomer brands and the brands, aspire brands. We learn the how the foreseenness of a brand can meet, and also continuous persistent service
Mhm.
and aware consumer to the news category and usage will help the brand to grow to this stage. And not only the stage, it's very important to have that claim or the consistency to have that, because it's a big
Yes, yes,
responsibility.
yes.
Likewise, these super brands, whenever I talk, these titles are very very responsible titles to carry forward and to be consistently delivered to the customers to hold the title. So going to the, we are
Yes.
almost end of our show. To the same question to Sabir Bhai, and also to add to that, Shopno itself is a household name. Likewise, with the other brand Boshundhara LPG, its name, its tagline, and the recent pandemic, all these services made it so unique. And the super brand also add value to it. In recent coming times, it will continue play a very important role in our households. So, and in that period of time, how super brand title will enhance it. Our viewers would like to know that, Bhaiya.
Yeah. So Mazvin, already you probably mentioned half of my answers. So with recognition comes responsibility. So we feel more responsible to do things better whenever we get award. Like when we became one of the top 10 brands across categories, we felt more responsible to behave better. Um, Back in 2019 and 2021, when we got Cannes Award, Cannes Lions Award, our communication team actually and our agencies, they felt pressure to do it even better. So as a customer-centric organization, we always analyze every day's customer's pain and how we can improve it better, how we can serve it better. And we know that we are not flawless and we can never be flawless. So we have to analyze our flaws and we have to improve it further. But how we can actually delight and surprise them so that our brand name, Shopno, becomes Shopno. It becomes meaningful. So to do that, we have a team which actually creates and disrupts. One of our values is disruption, creative disruption. So we every year we try to see how many disruptive innovation we did, disruptive or creative activities we had done. With Superbrand, definitely we got prestige, but prestige is not that important. It's more important that certain section of the society recognize you as a responsible brand. So you have to behave more responsibly, and that pressure goes down to all our associates, which is 4328, 4,328 associates. They feel pressure, and we encourage them to be pressured and to do things better. So we say every day better life. So every day better life for our employees, every day better life for our consumers. So super brand actually, I would say, creates an extra pressure on that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. As a marketing professional myself, and it's my great pleasure to actually know the insights from the two of the coveted marketeers of our country, who builds every day interesting campaigns and stories to talk about. And thank you so much for the sharing insights with our viewers today, the journey of super brands and coming times, the how these brands will add value to our everyday life. So that is today for today's discussion. I hope all of you have had a great time with us here at Super Brands of Bangladesh. I hope all the super brands stands as an example to the newer brands entering the industry as time changes and as Bangladesh progresses towards development as one of the fastest growing economies. Thank you, Bhaiya, and once again, Sabir Bhai and Jashim Bhai, for giving your time, sharing the brand's amazing brand story. And I'm sure that in coming times, both these household brands will make some more interesting marketing stories, add value to our lives. So I hope all our viewers had a good time, and I urgently request all of us to be at home as much as possible, and we go out only when it is necessary, as next 45 days the new variant will be very crucial, and we have to act very responsibly. Thank you once again for coming to the show and sharing the super brand story. Till then, take care, stay safe.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
once.
much for adding us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.